Styled with Love tells the story of Rosie, an ambitious personal stylist. After moving to Chicago, she enlists the help of Jackson, a professional photographer, to promote her new fashion business. Rosie takes a trip down memory lane as she packs her bags to leave. One of the last things she packs is a photo of her and her grandma. Her grandma has just passed on, and Rosie misses her dearly. As she puts it away in her suitcase, she looks proud. Closing her bag, she heads to the airport to go to Chicago, where she will start her new business as a stylist. After her flight, she is greeted on the street by her best friend Mel. Mel happily hands Rosie her favorite coffee. She is ecstatic about her new business and gushes about her guaranteed success. Walking to Rosie's new shop, Mel talks about her abject failure in dating. Her last date had purposefully left his wallet and made her pay for several rounds of mini golf. She states that unless she becomes wealthy, she is going to stay away from dating for now. They come up to the shop, and Mel squeals as she looks at the shop's name, Styling by Pink. Inside, she is impressed by the style and class of the shop. It's all in colors of soft white and various shades of tasteful reds and pinks. She states that even the business cards are classy and stylish. Mel is excited for Rosie. Despite all the wishes from Mel, Rosie is nervous about her business and worried that it won't succeed. She has everything set up except for some photos for her website. She wants to do them for herself, but her friend laughs at her. She suggests that she hire her cousin Jackson. He is a professional photographer who is great at what he does. With a quick text, she notifies her cousin of their needs. After Mel sends the text, she tells Rosie that she needs to go. She has a bridal group that wants to do a wedding makeup trial. While handing out pamphlets for her new business, Rosie runs into a woman who asks her for help. Taking out 2 dresses from a bag, the woman asks which one she should wear to her friend's wedding. Rosie looks at the blue dress and then the bright pink one. She picks the pink one because it is more friendly and inviting. The woman thanks her and takes a flyer before heading off. It isn't long before Rosie gets her first phone call for an appointment. Dancing around her studio to some music, she doesn't notice an imposing woman coming into her shop. Once she does notice her, Rosie falls on the column she was placing shoes on. The woman doesn't look impressed with her or her shop. She states that she is Val Carcosa, the editor-in-chief of Chicago Trend magazine. She isn't here to book an appointment, she's just curious about the shop. She is making Rosie a bit nervous. Val says that her assistant informed her of a new stylist in town, and she wanted to check her out. She likes being ahead of trends. If Rosie impresses her, Val will do a piece on her shop. Val states that she likes what she sees so far. The space is warm, cozy, and contemporary without being pretentious. Rosie gets Jackson's phone number and calls him. He says that he can't hear her and asks to meet at Washington Park. As she approaches him, he asks her to stand still while he does some test shots of her. She tells him what she wants, and he isn't surprised that she is in the fashion industry. Offended, she asks what he means, and he says that with a name like Pink, she was bound to be in the arts. Most artistic people change their name to something cool. He asks her what her real name is, and she says that she changed it from Pinkerton to Pink when she was 12. He nods his head like he was right. Offended yet again, she asks him what his real name is. He states that it is just Jackson Brooks, but Jackson with an X in it, because his mom wanted him to be in the arts. She proposes the deal yet again, 2 weeks worth of paid work of photos of her in her shop. He doesn't want to do it, since he doesn't do fashion or candid shots. At this point, they both find each other irritating. He tells her to find somebody else, and she storms off. As she does, he gets a call from his boss, Chase. He says that he can't hear Chase on the phone, and asks him to call him back. Chase tells him that he didn't get the job with the magazine he wanted. The magazine said that his shots weren't spontaneous enough. Chase warns Jackson that if he doesn't get any business soon, he will have to drop him. He hasn't made them any money in a while. Chase tells him of another job offer, but he needs to do some candid shots to get the job. Looking down at the ground, Jackson notices Rosie's scarf next to his tripod on the ground. He assures Chase that he can get the photos. Rosie is finishing up paperwork when she hears the door open. Calling out, she states that the store is closed. When she turns around, she notices that it is Jackson with her scarf. She tells him to keep it. With a smile, he says that it isn't his style. He tells her that the 2 weeks that he was busy just opened up, and he can help her. He says that they can help each other, and he can do the photos she wants. But it is too late for Rosie. She tells him that she has found someone else to do the photos. It is a bald-faced lie. He asks who it is, and she stutters. Bill with a B is her answer. He apologizes for offending her earlier. He has had some bad experiences with the fashion industry, and doesn't want to get hurt again. He proposes another deal. He tells her that he needs some new photos for his portfolio, and she needs photos for her business. He will take the photos that she needs for free, so long as he can use some for his portfolio. He wants someone real instead of a model. She agrees with the terms and tells him not to make him regret it. While grabbing a drink with Mel, the person at the stand hands them the wrong coffee. Mel states that she has a dinner date, but doesn't know what that entails, so she is eating a donut. She complains about a date that she had last month, where she had to share a pizza with a man and then get tacos on the way home. They are both disgusted. Rosie's mom Fiona calls from their vacation in Florida, and they talk about how her business is going. During the conversation, she tells her mom that she is hiring Mel's cousin to do her photos. Mel is shocked because Rosie didn't tell her first. She hangs up and heads to her shop, where Jackson is waiting for her. She shows him around the room. She points out the different styles of clothes for different occasions, and shows him where she will be meeting her clients. She calls it her comfy cozy corner, with stylish chairs. She tells him all about how different colors bring out different aspects of people, depending on their skin tone and eyes. She brings up a ring of cloth squares, and tells him that he should wear more green to bring out the color of his eyes. Just then, her first appointment comes in. It is the woman she met on the street. She says that she needs help finding an outfit for a job interview. Before she continues, Rosie interrupts her. She asks if it is okay if Jackson takes photos of them for her website. She agrees, as long as he gets her good side. Her name is Abby, and she is looking for a perfect outfit for the interview. They sit down in comfy chairs to discuss it further. Abby wants something sophisticated and classy. Rosie asks her what she normally wears daily. Abby says that she has been a stay-at-home mom for the past 5 years. Most of her clothes have paint and baby stains on them. She admits to feeling guilty about going back to work and leaving her kids at home. Rosie assures her that it is natural, and a lot of moms feel that way. Rosie asks Abby a few questions about what she does and doesn't like. She finds out that they both like mint chip ice cream. It takes Rosie no time at all to find the perfect patterned dress for Abby. During this, Jackson is taking pictures of her trying on clothes. Abby is very pleased with the purchases, and everyone had a great time. Even Jackson admits that he was having fun with it. Abby is Rosie's only appointment today, so they head out to take some street shots. He tells her to have some fun with it. Rosie feels tiny compared to the big city, and Jackson tells her that his dad taught him photography. They find out that they both have an intuition when it comes to their jobs. Rosie knows what to put people in, and Jackson knows when to take a good photo. Rosie explains that she learned about fashion from her grandma, who had a sewing machine. All of the neighbors would come to her house to have clothes made and mended. They start flirting with each other over ice cream. Jackson brings his grandpa a bagel and orange juice to the bench he is sitting on. He asks his grandpa why he isn't headed to his poetry meeting. That is 3 blocks away. The meeting is in 5 minutes. Grandpa states that he is going to be taking the scenic route. Jackson is confused by his statement. As they move along, he notices that they are headed to Rosie's shop. He now knows what his grandpa is trying to do. With a big grin, his grandpa ambles up the stairs to the main part of the shop. Rosie accidentally scares him when she says hi. Jackson introduces him as his grandpa Wilbur. Wilbur is excited to meet her and is curious about what she does. He thinks she is just a fashionista, but she corrects him and tells him about her job. He loves how creative young people are going about making money nowadays. He enjoyed meeting her and waves goodbye as he leaves for his poetry meet. Her next client has confidence issues and wants to step into the dating world. He wants to ask a girl named Kimmy out, but can't seem to find the courage. People say that he dresses too nerdy to get a girl. She tells him to get better friends and to start believing in himself. He can take the first step in believing in himself by swiping right on Kimmy's profile. He isn't too sure that he can, but Jackson also tries to give him a confidence boost. She tells him that blue is his color and that he looks good in the new outfit that he has on. He loves the new look and compares himself to Clark Kent. He looks at his phone when he gets a notification. Kimmy has matched with him on the dating app that he has. He says that he isn't good with words and asks for more advice. Rosie and Jackson go outside to take more photos. As they go through them, Chase calls Jackson. He tells him that he needs to send the photos by tomorrow so that he can keep Jackson on as a client. They go to the lake to take some more photos. It's one of Jackson's favorite spots. Rosie tells him that she might have to steal his happy place. Back at the shop, Jackson brings Rosie some food and says that she needs to eat. He picks up a flyer, noticing it is for her official launch party. He didn't know that she was having one. She says that she is just finishing up sending out invites to some schools and businesses. He thinks she is scared that no one will come to the launch party and that her business will fail. A woman comes in gasping for air, asking for Rosie Pink. She has been named the worst-dressed woman in a magazine called Craze MG. She wants help finding comfy and stylish clothes. Rosie smiles and brings over a rack of clothes. She tries on some clothes and leaves extremely happy with her purchases. They go on an unofficial date around the corner at a pizza joint. He says that she never answered the question that he asked earlier. She says that she felt stuck in her hometown and wanted a change. He felt the same when he was living with his college friends. He tries to see if she is single, and she is. She asks the same thing, alluding to an earlier conversation, where he was called a leading online dating expert. He says that he is focusing more on his work than dating. She is doing the same. They flirt a little more while leaving the restaurant. Mel brings Rosie some cold coffee the next morning. Mel wants to focus on relationships more than starting her salon. Val stops by for another visit. She saw her look online and wants to feature her shop. She also wants Rosie to style her for her magazine. Rosie is so excited for one of the ladies she styled. She has had many job offers and loves what Rosie did for her. Jackson refuses to admit that he is having fun doing fashion shoots. Jackson invites Rosie to eat Chinese takeout with him and his grandpa Wilbur. Wilbur loves listening to Rosie talk about her favorite aspects of her job. Wilbur's new neighbor, Irene, knocks on the door with a plate of mini muffins. Rosie notices them vibing. She and Wilbur flirt relentlessly before she leaves to go home. Rosie is immediately onto them and asks Wilbur about her. Wilbur talks about how he has been wanting to ask her out, but loses his nerve. Rosie offers a free makeover to help build his confidence. Rosie looks at Jackson's photos that are up on his grandpa's walls. Jackson tells Rosie why he has to do the photos, and Rosie loves the idea of him getting the job. He says that he would be on the road for a few weeks at a time if he gets the job. Rosie offers to have his photos hung up in her shop during the opening launch. She wants to help him succeed. Mel tells Rosie that she wimped out with Jackson last night. She says that Rosie always does this with guys she likes. Mel jokes that the love of her life might come in for a manicure at her salon. Val calls Rosie and asks if she would like to freelance for her regularly. She will accommodate her needs for her business. She offers a quick tour of the magazine studio. Val persuades her to work for her part-time with couture clothes. Jackson texts her saying that Wilbur doesn't want to do the free makeover. She goes to Wilbur's house to convince him to talk to Irene. She builds up his confidence and makes him look dashing. He shares the poem that he wrote for Irene, and both Jackson and Rosie love it. Back at the studio, Jackson and Rosie talk about a piece that he is hanging up on the wall. Rosie talks about how beautiful the photo is, and Jackson says that she was an extraordinary woman to work with, that she was beautiful inside and out. Rosie tells him that she had accepted the job with the magazine as a part-time stylist. Jackson asks if she is going to keep the studio. She assures him that she wouldn't give up the studio for anything. Just then, Derek comes in. Derek had come in before and had a makeover. He is very flustered and asks for her help again. He says that his date with Kimmy didn't go well, and that he doesn't know what to do. He and Mel immediately vibe when she walks in. Rosie interjects and invites him to pizza with them. They hit it off immediately at the restaurant, and Rosie takes Jackson aside so that they can talk. Jackson has no idea what is going on, until Rosie lets him in on her plan. Jackson's phone rings before they can go back to their seats. Wilbur talks about how his poem went over well, but now he is even more nervous. He thinks he will ramble and say the wrong thing. He wants Jackson and Rosie to come with him on his date, to make sure that he doesn't make a fool of himself. Jackson jokes with Rosie on the side that his grandpa can say the wrong thing. Wilbur hopes that they will be available tomorrow to go with him on his date. The date is in front of a fountain at a park. There is old-fashioned swing music playing, and many couples are dancing to it. Wilbur takes Irene's jacket, and she states that this is her favorite song. Wilbur pushes her jacket into Jackson's hands, and they head to the fountain to dance. Rosie loves the date idea. Jackson has never seen his grandpa dance so confidently. They joke that they can't dance like them. They know it will be a disaster, but decide to dance anyway. Right as they get into the song, it ends, and a slow one comes on. They start slow dancing, and Jackson asks if he can donate one of her photos for an auction. The auction is for one of the youth clubs that he volunteers at. Someone from the magazine he wants to work at will be there, so he doesn't want to make a fool of himself. He is so nervous about it that Rosie offers to go with him. He questions if she wants to go to the auction with him. She wants to be there to support him. She tells him that he can give the speech just to her at the auction, and he won't be able to mess it up. He is happy that she has offered this and smiles warmly down at her while they dance. The moment is ruined when Rosie's phone goes off. Val is calling her. Val needs her to come down to the office to meet the person she would be working with right away. Rosie asks to reschedule, and Val says that it isn't possible. This was the only time she could get them to meet before the shoot. Rosie says that she will be there and asks Jackson to apologize to Wilbur for her. At the studio, Rosie makes a good first impression with the photographer. He wants to do something avant-garde for the photos, and she makes many suggestions that he likes. Val thinks that the composition of the photos needs more edge. Rosie has just the thing to fix it, a fuzzy scarf. Val is impressed with what Rosie is doing and tells her that the clothes she is currently looking at are all from previous shoots. Val says that she can take them to her studio. Rosie is flabbergasted. She loves all of the clothes that she gets to take home. She is in fashion heaven. Jackson is walking around a park when he gets a call from Chase. Agitated at the way things have been going, he barks at Chase, hoping that there is good news. Chase assures him that for once there is good news. The magazine that he wants to work for loves his photos, and he got the interview. Chase tells him that he needs to make sure to impress them at the charity event tomorrow. Jackson is ecstatic. At the shop, Rosie is having a blast organizing her new clothes on the rack. A woman comes in with a dozen pink roses to deliver. Attached to the roses is a note from Abby. This is a thank you note because she got the job. She calls Rosie her fairy godmother. Rosie loves the note and the roses. Sitting outside at a table, Mel gushes to Rosie about Derek. She can't stop talking about how wonderful he is, and how she knows that Rosie set them up. They are going on another date tonight to watch a movie. Mel offers to help prep for the launch party. At another shoot, Val calls Rosie over. She wants the hemline fixed on the dress the model is wearing. The photographer also wants the dress to be tighter on the model. Rosie says that she can, but it would have to be tomorrow, since she has to be at Jackson's charity event in 30 minutes. Val says that she needs to cancel it, because the photographer leaves tomorrow, and it needs to be done tonight. Rosie calls Jackson, and softly tells him that she won't be able to make it to the event. She is disappointed that she can't come. Jackson is also sad that she won't be able to be there. She tells him to let her know how it goes, and hangs up. Later that night, while she is fixing the dress, she can't help but feel saddened at the way things are. The next day, she is helping a customer when she gets another call from Val. Val wants her to book 3 more days for her. The photographer also wants to see her during lunch today. Rosie says that she can't because she is booked solid today with customers, and that she needs to get things ready for her shop launch. She reluctantly agrees to help the photographer with his emergency photo shoot. Back at the shop, she gets another call from the magazine, asking if she can fly out of state for a shoot for several days. She says that she can't be away from the shop for that long. She sees Jackson with his photos and asks him to place them in the back. She gets another call from a customer asking if she can help, and she says that she is booked solid for the next 8 days. She is too busy with Val to take care of her business as she should. Jackson tells her of his interview with the magazine he wants to work for. Rosie hugs him in excitement. They agree to hang out more at a birthday bash for someone later on tonight. Jackson goes to see his grandpa. His grandpa tells him that just because they are just friends doesn't mean that Rosie is okay with him leaving. He shows up at 8:30 to pick her up for the birthday party, and she is still working. She confesses that she is being overworked. She is being pressured. Jackson asks why she is letting Val run her ragged. He says that she doesn't need Val to be successful, and that it doesn't even make her happy, that what she does in her store is enough. He says that she is neglecting the people who care about her. She shoots back that if he worked as hard as her, he wouldn't be taking photos of people in the park. The next day, she quits working for Val because she misses styling people and working in her studio. Val says that while she is disappointed, she admires her honesty and tells her to follow her passion. She says that she always has a spot open for her. Going through the photos that Jackson left for her brings up the awful things that she said to him the previous night. She tries calling him, but he doesn't answer. She repeatedly calls him, hoping to apologize. Mel likes what she has done to the shop for the launch. Mel tells her that she needs to tell him the way she feels about him. Mel can tell that they both have feelings for each other. The launch goes off without a hitch. Many people that she has helped have shown up to support her. Wilbur shows up and tells her not to worry. Jackson will be here once he realizes what he is missing out on. Rosie talks about how she has wanted to be a stylist since she was a kid. She thanks Mel and her grandma for her success and tells them that she wouldn't be doing this without them. Jackson shows up in the middle of her speech, and she says that she needs to thank one more person. She says that he has been there for her many times and apologizes for not being there when he needed her most. Jackson says that he needs to say something. He says that although Rosie might just be a personal stylist, she works hard for people to see the best version of themselves. Jackson says that he doesn't know what the future holds, but he needs to take one more chance. Saying this, he goes up to her and kisses her in front of the crowd. The crowd loudly cheers for them as they kiss.